Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and I hope everyone's going to have an awesome Monday. I have a small haul to share, and coming from various places. And first of all, thank you Kim for letting me know that HSN had free shipping, and I'd had my eye on this set and it was $9. So these are the dies, and there was quite a bit in this pack. And these are the stamps. I've got a sheet of white cardstock here somewhere. There we go. So I popped those behind. And I'd had my eyes on these for quite a while, but I just didn't want to pay that amount of shipping, if I'm to be honest, because it would have doubled the price of the set. But I thought for $9 with the dies and the other bits that came with it, it was totally worth it. So these, if you look at them, are very old school, but there are some layering stamps there, and I'm going to try and stamp these in a minute. But just great for autumn, fall, and I love that one. Harvest Happiness. So you can see these are actual layering stamps that go onto these. So I'll have a go at that in a second. So I've got the dies, I've got the matching stamps, and then also with that, this is actually a diamond press set. So if I move my card out of the way, it comes with all of this stuff to show you how to do it, applying adhesive and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure that this is meant to be the adhesive glue dots. Yeah, although how you open them I don't know. I think they're all kind of peeled off in the pack. So those are like little glue dots that come with it. So that was that. And then you get a little folder that you put the dies in. That's if you've got a diamond press machine, which I haven't. So I'll just use whatever sandwich is necessary to send it through mine. But I can use this for other things. Yeah, I can see that being quite useful for applying, either if you want to mirror a stamp or something, stamping it on there and putting your cardstock on and closing it and running it through. So just that little folder on its own, I can find all sorts of reasons to use that. And you get a diamond press scraper for using your stencil pastes, and it also came with 3 stencils. So you've got a dog tooth, you've got a wood grain, and you've also got like a buffalo plaid. So I just thought for $9, all of that was just totally worth it. And like I said, we'll come back to that in a minute, and I'll try and do a stamp. So I'll just pick that up and move it out of the way, and then get back into the next part of my haul. I'm trying to find it. I actually only ordered one die from AliExpress. I've been looking at this one for absolutely ages, and if you watch my videos, you know I love little frames and stuff. It's the little things that really grab me. And I do have a square version of this, which I shared in a video. Maybe it was summer, or maybe it was last summer, you know. I kind of lose track of the time, but I've got this one, and it all cuts out and you're left with these apertures, and it also comes with a silhouette of a lady. And it's not that I was so much interested in the silhouette as I was interested in this, although I do think this would look pretty, just die cut and then tiny little flowers just placed all over where the hair should be, and I think that would look really cute. But look at the detail in that. I just love that, and that's why I collect little frames like that, because I love them. And I did do some cutting of that particular die, and I do have quite a bit of stuff, so I'm just moving things out of the way. And so here I cut it in gold so that you can see the detail. I'm going to use that sheet of white cardstock again. Isn't it lovely? Ooh, all the things I can get up to. And I did do a few things, but there's lots of stuff I could get up to. There I've just inked that, used a piece of paper, and laid those other pieces around the edge in black. So I did the birdie, I did Halloweeny, because I took the gold bits that popped out of these apertures and popped them into here. So I did a little Halloween frame, and you've got your holes here so you can hang them like tags or just use them as journal pieces, but I really enjoyed doing that one. And then I just did one very similar, things that can go into pockets. Let's get a close-up. Oh, my camera. If I send it all weird, there we go, and then move out slowly. And I just did the butterfly. But I just, you know, like I say, I love little frames and I love little dies, because there's just so much you can do with them. I mean, this leaves, when you cut it out of a sheet of cardstock, a beautiful aperture. So you can use that as your card base and then put another sheet under the aperture, lay this back in, and then put all your decoration so it can become a whole card. And I'll probably do that at some point. Maybe on Friday. I'm going to do KS Craft on Wednesday. So that's that little die. Oh, and I know people like measurements. Yes, I'm forgetting already. So let's measure that. From the peak of its doodah to its other doodah is 3 5/8. And then across the edges we are at 2 1/4 inches. So it's just a really pretty thing. Right, that's that out of the way. And then I got myself some stamps. So I'm going to grab these before I get into my stickers and my DTFs. Right, so I've got this one and I played with it and it stamps absolutely beautifully. So we've got Make Candy, Trick or Treat. I love it when you get tiny little words like that, because if I go back to here and my little Halloween frame, I'm just grabbing it. You can see stuff like that, little tiny Trick or Treat there, is going to fit onto something like that and onto little tags. And you can see the ones that I've used. This is the cat that stamps in a long row, and then you've got the outline layering piece. So you can use kitty cats all year round. You know, you could do the edge of an envelope or a pocket or anything with those. Love the little pumpkin and the little ghosty. Let's get in there. And so that's one set of stamps. Move that out of the way. And then the next one is labels. And I've probably got that. There we go. Got it the wrong way around. So these are basically for stamping onto cardstock, and then you can just fussy cut them out, or you can just stamp them onto paper. But I love stuff like this. Like that, one story at a time. And then you've got the layering piece for this. So I've got myself that stamp set. And then this one is absolutely amazing. Look at the keyboard. The keyboard is correct. Where's my sheet of white cardstock gone again? Can you see that? And it does stamp. It stamps that absolutely beautifully, along with all of those letters. I was quite shocked actually by that. So you've got your little postal note that you can cut out separate and make it 3-dimensional coming out of your typewriter, but that stamps perfectly. And then this one I haven't stamped at all, and it's, you know me, film strips. And we've got little bits of foliage that are separate stamps, and then we've got butterflies, and we've got other bits. And remember, you can also use stamps like this on top of photographs if you still like your scrapbooking. I don't know what that says. Thank you for the smile you bring to my face. That's a cute one for Valentine's Day, isn't it? So this is quite a large set. You know, I've got my hand on there, so I will measure this one. And we are at... They actually measure the carrier sheet. I'm not going to do that. It's 7 7/8 from stamp to stamp down there. And 5.5. But if I measure that film strip on its own, that is 6 inches. But of course you could cut it up. and 1 1/8 for the longest piece in there. But I just love that set. And then we get on to other stuff. Right, so first of all, I'll do my DTFs. And if you don't know what a DTF is, it's a permanent sticker. When you buy a decorated glass or a vase or something like that, they have DTF stickers on them which are permanent. When you put them on, they won't come off. You would have to take a razor blade and really go to town on it to remove it. But I wanted to get some that I could use for Christmas ornaments to decorate them up and other things. So I've got this set of deers, which I think is really lovely. And if you see me haul my other DTFs, then you'll know that I like to buy things that I can cut around. I mean, you could use that as an entire wrap around a drinking glass, a cup, or a vase for Christmas. You could put one on a candle, you know, one of your tall LED candles. You could add a little bit of glitter to it if you wanted to. But you just use a credit card to rub them off onto the hard surface. But I promise you, once they're there forever. So if you were to decide to put one of these on a glass window or something like that, it's not going to come off. So, you know, when you go past offices and you've got all that lovely gold lettering and what have you on their windows, that's DTF. It's just DTF stickers that are rubbed onto the surface of the glass. But what's nice about these is you can use them on acetate. So if you cut a couple of pieces of acetate and then you know, turn it into a shaker by using your foam and then putting your other acetate on top, you can use a little bit of your Eileen snow around the edge and some glitter, and then you could have something like this and you can create yourself a three-dimensional ornament really cheaply. But I just thought they were really cute, so I got those. And then my other pack of DTFs, and once again this will wrap around an entire glass or a mug, or they can be cut out separately. So that's what I was saying. I look for stuff that I can get my scissors in between, because I might only want to use one little piece on like the window of a shaker or something. So that is what we have. So we've got candy canes, we've got snowmen, we've got little houses, and I just think they're really cute. So I got those. So I will now move my DTFs out of the way. Right, next up, and I've got stickers. So first of all, let's open these. And I really do like these little mini butterflies. They're three-dimensional and birds. So this is the first time I'm getting them out of the packet. So I'm going to lift that bit up and pull those without them getting stuck. There we go. So we've got butterflies which have moved around during postage. So I'm just going to rearrange those. And they're such a pretty size. So we've got these. Try and get in close. There you go. And then in that same pack comes the little birdies. So we've got lots of little birds. But when I was doing my frames, I'll just grab the gold one. You know, people used to frame butterflies. Look at that. You can fit two in that frame. I just think that's really cute. So you could just move them around, and then you could have a little label, a little specimen label. So I really do like those. So those are my little stickers. And let's see if I can get them back in. There we go. Move those out of the way. And then I've got these lovely washi stamps. You get ever such a lot of designs in here, and they double up as well. So you don't have to be scared about using them. And isn't the packaging great? Oh, I do love that. That could make a page in a folio. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's just over 3.5 inches. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want that bit there, but you could cover that up with something. Bit of lace or collage in by 6 1/4. So yeah, I wouldn't throw the packaging away, I would absolutely use it. But look at the stamps. I won't show all of them because, you know, I would be sitting here forever. But just great designs, and that's a lovely Christmas one. But I haven't got any fingernails, but I'm going to share it with you. They're on acetate, so obviously they peel up, but they're washi tape. Can you see that? And I think these were $1.60 or something, but you get doubles of them. There's a great one for Easter. You've got a little fox. Probably going to get them all mixed up now. You've got mushrooms. Look at that little hair. That's sweet. And we've got birds in birds' nests for springtime. Music and birds. Let's get a close up. They're just so nice. Just for adding to pages and collages and pockets. So you get a really good variety. Another little rabbit with his egg. Pine cones for fall and Christmas. We've got birds. There's a nice one. Right, we'll get in there. Kind of European style Christmas. My camera's playing up. That says retro on it. Carte postale. And that's a lovely one. So those are my stamp stickers, and we've got a lovely owl. So I better put him there. So I'm keeping all my doubled up ones. Right, so that is my little haul, and now I'm going to stamp one of those Apple stamps from HSN and see what we've got. So I've already got a sheet of white cardstock here. I'll just get the fluff off it, and I will get my stamp block, which is a bit scruffy at the moment, but never mind. So I've got my stamp block. I think the one I'm going to stamp is this apple. Yeah, I'm going to do that one. So let's get the base one out. Now usually when I'm sitting at the table, I'm not really that good at, she says before everybody runs away. I'm usually not that good at layering up on camera, especially when using a stamp block. But I'm opening up my inks here, and I'm looking at the colours that I've got, and I think I'm going to go with picked raspberry and barn door, which may or may not look so good. And I'm also going to go peeled paint, and what's that, rustic wilderness. So I'll go with those. I'll go with the pink raspberry, and then I'll go with the red. Now I'm just going to get one of my dabbers. I'll be back in a second. Right, I've got myself just a little finger dabber. I'm just going to pop that there. Right, so first of all we've got the solid, and I'm going to do my solid in pink, making sure there's nothing stuck to the stamp. Now I don't know, yeah, that's a piece of fibre that's just come off my stamp block, so I'm going to get pink fingers and fingernails no matter what. Oh no, it's not, it was a piece of silicone that just peeled off. So I've got that nice and pink, and I'm just going to put that down there. And I'm not necessarily pressing very hard, but I kind of like give the paper a chance to get a bit of that colour. So there we have a nice pink apple. I'll put that there because it's going to need washing. And pink lady apples, that's what they are, aren't they? And then the layering for that is this one here. So I'm just going to grab that. And pop that onto my stamp block. I'll move those out of the way now. And I'm going to put that on there so that I can see the top part of it. And I'm trying to think, is there another layering for the green? I think there might be. Yes, there is. So I just need to make sure that I get the correct one. And it's this one. So that's going to have to come off there. Right. Just make sure I've got the right one. So I'll peel that one off and pop it there. And we need this one. So we go with the palest shade. And we're going to stamp those leaves. Now the interesting thing about stamping these is, as you can see, that is already fixed. So you kind of, you've got to guess where you think it might be. So I've gone there, and I might be totally out. And now we can pop this one back on the block. And I'm going barn door for the actual apple area. Get plenty on. And then I'm going with the archival evergreen. And I'm just going to dab that up and down on the leaves. Make sure I'm getting plenty on. And let's see what we've got now. As I said, I probably stamped those leaves in completely the wrong place. Yeah, I did. Totally out of alignment. But really old school. I love that. Now it's going to be interesting to see actually how on earth you would do that stamp. So I'm thinking if I go dark colour, and then I'm hoping that the light colour will stamp over it. So let's have a look and try again. Let's do it on its own, because I'm sure it looks really nice even on its own. I just want to figure out the leaf bit. So I might as well do it while someone's watching me. So I'm going to go with the light green on the top. And I probably haven't got it all lined up again, but it might look a lot better than the last one. Ah, no, it doesn't actually. So that's going to take a little bit of practice anyway. But that is my apple set, and I am going to play with this, so I will show you a card when I finish one. But that is what I have for you today, and I will be up on Wednesday with KS Craft. I thank you so much for joining me. I always do, and I always thank so much for all of your well wishes. I do hope you have an awesome today, an awesome tomorrow. I'll see you on Wednesday, and as usual, all links below. Bye.